In today's gaming news, Facebook VR ads have rolled back after massive backlash, but is this the end? Nier Automata has sold 7 million copies. Marvel's Avengers Doxes its players live to the world. Activision Blizzard has given a massive pay rise to its CEO despite the fact that the company is crumbling right now. And Apex Legends releases a lore trailer. First up, the first developer to sign up to Facebook VR's new advertisement test has pulled out of the plan after immediate and very severe backlash from players. Some people have called it them getting review bombed, but quite frankly, on Steam at least, it didn't really sell enough copies to be really called a bomb. It was more of a fizzle, but there was definitely negative reviews that went on. Most of these have now been reversed, now the game has gone back, and Blaston, the game, has published a tweet about exactly what has happened. They said, after listening to player feedback, we realised that Blaston isn't the best fit for this type of advertising test. Therefore, we no longer plan to implement the test, and we look forward to seeing you in the arena and hope you try the Crackdown update that went live today. Yes, that's as dodgy as it sounds. They're not saying that Facebook ads are bad. They're not saying that advertisements in games are bad. Only that this wasn't the right game for it. You might have heard things like this before, namely in Bethesda with their paid mods. And one thing that Bethesda might have learned is that gamers have long memories and they hold a grudge. If ever paid mods come back under Bethesda, they will receive a similar reaction, and Blaston's developer should realize that exactly the same thing will happen to them. But they have done it smart, because they have come out with a new tweet which says, if ads in VR become inevitable, as they have on other platforms... You mean mobile? Because mobile isn't... no one would really classify mobile as gaming per se. You know, if you've played Candy Crush, I don't think most people would classify you in the gaming category. But it says if we want to ensure we do it right, and they have another free-to-play game called Bait, which they might be adding it into now. But I don't think they really understand how PC gaming works, which is what the Quest 2 is. They're trying to aim it at the mobile space. And I just don't think it's the same platform, I don't think it's the same thing, and I don't think you're going to nail that down. Most of the people involved in VR are full-on gamers. They're either PSVR or everyone else I would actually classify more towards the PC space. These are not people that want advertisements in their games. These are not people that want walled gardens. They don't want exclusives. All of this stuff has been set out for decades, and even though more and more people are moving into the PC space, I don't think they'll put up with the same thing that you've seen mobile get away with. Mobile is very specifically its own platform. It's got its own demographic, and it's got people that never, ever would have played games if they didn't have a mobile phone. Quite frankly, adding ads into VR games is literally one of the worst ideas I've ever heard. You would make more money if you just increased the price of the game by £1 than you would off them with ads anyway, and you also wouldn't have all of the negative feedback. It's overall a terrible idea. It's a really bad idea, and quite frankly, to me, it just shows that Facebook has literally no idea what they're doing with gaming. Nier Automata and Nier Replicant have sold 7 million copies, they've announced today. Nier Automata has sold 6 million, and Replicant has sold 1 for the combined 7. There isn't really much of a story here. I just wanted to show that if you made a good product and didn't try to screw over your customers with adverts, then people will still buy your game, and you'll make far more money than trying to nickel and dime them in horrible ways that no one likes. I'm petty, so sue me. Then we have Marvel's Avengers, which has decided to try and get rid of its few remaining players by doxing them all publicly. Yeah, that's as bad as it sounds. There was a new patch today which introduced a new boss, Monica, and the Cosmic Cube event. However, there was also a bug with this release which just broadcast your IP live to everybody. They've done a rather strange announcement on Twitter with this. They said, we're aware of the floating string of text which appears on the screen on our investigating. Of all the ways to try and downplay doxing your players, calling it a floating string of text is simultaneously the strangest and least descriptive way you could possibly have chosen. If you're going to fail this publicly, when you actually only have, at this time, 571 average player count on Steam, you really should probably be a bit more sorry, far more apologetic, and not try to make it sound like a cover-up when you're announcing what's happened. Get down on your knees and make it lovely, as was once said on Rift, because all of those players, they're the only people that like your game. Everyone else left. Back in September 2020, it had an average player count of 7,463. That very, very quickly dropped to 1,400 players in October, just the next month, then 800 the next month, and then has slowly died over the remaining time to its current amount. The people that are left are hardcore fans who for some reason have stuck around, and this is how you decide to repay them. Yeah, get down on your knees. Activision Blizzard boss Bobby Kotick has had his $155 million pay package approved by shareholders today. It went through with just 54% of the shareholders voting for it, so it almost failed to get a majority and pass. This has been dropping year on year. It had 56.8 the year before and 58% in 2019, and every time it goes through, I'm amazed. I don't know why these people keep voting this guy back into his job, let alone anything else. He has had failure after failure. This literally comes after Activision recently announced in Q1 of 2021 that they have lost 29% of their entire player base over the last 3 years. I don't know about anyone else, but if I, in my job, lost 29% of my customers over 3 years, I'd probably be fired, not getting a pay rise. Certainly wouldn't be having a pay packet of $155 million given to me. I really, at this point, don't know what he's meant to bring that someone else can't. This is also comes after they've done some other rather dodgy things, which involves laying off massive amounts of their staff. They laid over 800 employees at the end of 2019, and then recently this year laid off another 190 people. Now, if you're a company which has literally fired 1,000 of its staff in 2 years, you've lost 30% of your player base in 3 years, and you're a shareholder, you just want the price to go up, aren't you after some kind of sign of success? Aren't you after some big hitters? Wouldn't you want someone leading the ship, who actually, captaining the ship even, who is actually doing a good job, is making so much money that they don't need to lay off staff? 1,000 staff, that's an entire new game that could be built. That's more money in your pocket. And yet, this guy wants $155 million for shrinking the company by 30% and firing 1,000 staff. $155 million. And still the majority thinks it's a good deal. I don't know who this guy knows. I don't know what kind of gift of the gab he's got in order to persuade all of these people. I don't know who or what he has to do to get these kind of votes. But boy, I wish he had that kind of sway. Apex Legends has released a lore trailer today which focuses on the creation of Pathfinder. Overall, it's quite a decent trailer. It looks good, the animation's amazing, the action's a bit... It's not as good as some of the other Apex trailers, but it does end well, and it really does wrap up his story and explain some stuff which I thought was nice about the map. I do like lore trailers, and although I would have preferred a bit more of an action-based one, it was overall a good story. Go and check it out if Apex is your thing. It's well worth watching if you're interested in the past history and lore of Apex. So that's it for another video. Let me know what you thought of your favorite news story down in the comments below. Hit like if you liked the video and subscribe for more in the future. Hit the notification bell to be notified. And I'd just like to say, this is my first video since it's happened. We've just passed 10k subscribers on this channel. So thank you for everyone that subscribed, and look forward to many, many more videos and gaming streams in the future. This channel is going places, and we couldn't do it without you. Thanks all, and that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.